Hey! So this is just a quick video to tell you about what it was like living in Anaheim. Surprisingly, the water was disgusting, which it's not something that you would think right off the bat about, but it's very different, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for the whole LA area. In fact, it was so disgusting that I looked it up, and it turns out they get their water from a mixture of an aquifer, like where they store water deep underground, and then also the Colorado River. So I think because it's been sitting for so long, I'm not sure why, or if it has to do with like the minerals in the soil of just the makeup of the ground of California, but the water tasted really nasty. It tasted very much like earthy, but like not in a good way. I bought a Brita filter for the first time, and that thing saved my life. It was basically, oh my gosh, this is, all right, there we go. I think it was by day 3 that I realized I was just trying to not drink water so that I wouldn't have to taste it. I was like, all right, this isn't gonna work. The weather was always perfect. Like, always. There were some times that it rained. Even the rain was perfect, gentle rain. It was very odd too, because I got there in the middle of winter and there were flowers blooming and there were trees that had green leaves on them, and it all felt very odd and off, but the weather was perfect. 70s, not humid at all. It was really funny. I would go into work a lot of times and people would say, oh, it's so humid today. Oh, it's disgusting. And I was just like, what are you talking about? The people, I think it was the same for all of Southern California. The people just weren't that friendly. They wouldn't really go out of their way. If you said hi to them on the sidewalk, they wouldn't really talk to you or wave back. Actually, there was this one time that I went out with my roommate to go to the beach, and there were these people who asked if they could share our campfire. I was like, well, yeah, absolutely. And then later they were like, yeah, you're probably not from around here, are you? And we were like, what? How'd you know? And they were like, yeah, you're just really nice. And that actually happened quite a bit. I got a lot of questions like, are people this nice in Missouri? And I was like, yeah. Something that's cool is that they just have random mango trees growing places. They have lemon trees, they have orange trees, they have avocado trees, they have lime trees, and people just have these trees like in their backyards, in the park. It's super cool. I really miss that part. I would have been making lemonade like all the time. But also in their parks, like not the state parks, but like the little like neighborhood parks, it was kind of weird because like around where I was living, Anaheim isn't the most wealthy of cities. Whenever I would go to run in the park, there would be like, you know, grown men just sitting on park benches or like talking to each other on picnic tables in the middle of the day on a weekday. And so it just kind of gave off like a vibe because, you know, like when people stare at you, it's just kind of like, why don't you have a job? Why aren't you amusing yourself? Why do you have to stare at me? And actually, where we lived, Carnegie, was about the safest place I think that you could live in Anaheim, specifically Anaheim. And even that was a little bit sketch. Like literally me and my roommates woke up one morning and we looked out the window and it looked like a crow had like splatted on the concrete. And we were like confused because we were like, what? And then it turns out that it was a bunch of like candle wax and charcoal and feathers because people had been doing things there overnight. And this was like a nice area too. Well, the nice area pretty much only extended for like 2 blocks like total, but yeah, so that was weird. One of the good things about living in Anaheim was that the beach was only like, you know, half an hour to 40 minutes away. However, because of LA traffic times, because you do not want to get caught in LA traffic, there were like pockets of time where you could where you would go and you would like have to schedule your whole day around the traffic times. The best beach that I went to was called Corona del Mar. It is so far, I'm pretty sure it's like my most favorite beach I've ever been to. Huntington Beach was like okay. The thing about the public beaches though is that the homeless are there, and here's the thing, it's like the dangerous homeless that I'm talking. They looked like the kind of homeless that would like jump you or mug you. That was the feel that I got. And so that was about it. Anaheim was really dry. Well, I guess all of SoCal is dry. The smog was a thing. It was nice to look out and see mountains in the distance, and the palm trees were really nice. It's really pretty once you get into nice areas. For the most part though, Anaheim's very much concrete everywhere because it's just straight city. So you kind of have to travel out a bit to find nature. But other than that, that was my experience living in Anaheim.